Hello everyone, we meet again in our ESP session. However, because this is an online session, then I'm preparing this material for you. I hope you are ready to learn, and then later on we can discuss together about the material. Okay? So last week we have discussed a little bit about the development of ESP, and before that we have also discussed the reasons why ESP emerged, right? Now we are going to continue with the topic for today, still about the development of ESP. So last week we have agreed, that ESP development varies in speed, different speed in different country. Perhaps in Indonesia, the development of ESP is quite slow, but in the other countries like in America, in Australia, or even in Philippines, the development is much faster, right? Yeah, however, there is no issue about that because in different country we face different situations. The need to use English is also different. That's why the development from time to time will also be different. And we also agree that there are 5 stages of development. Remember that? And then we also discussed that EST is very important for the development of ESP. Why? Because science and technology keeps developing, and the advancement of technology will always influence the development of the other aspects of life, including how we learn, what we learn, yeah, both in foreign languages and also in the other subjects, including ESP, of course. Yeah, okay, now we are going to see and have a look at the 5 stages of the development of ESP. Are you ready? Now we come to the stage 1. We call it RA, register analysis. So it happened in 1960s and early 1970s, and the theories are Peter Stevens, Jack Ewer, and also John Swales. Okay, and then there is a principle that we need to remember in RA, or register analysis. So number 1, if we are talking about the language, there must be some differences of specific registers across the discipline. For example, electrical engineering will not be the same as biology or general English. So in every subject like biology, math, physics, engineering, history, for example, there must be some specific registers. The words used will be different, the vocabulary used will be different, the specific terms will also be different from one discipline to another discipline. Okay, and then the focus and aims of the register analysis is to identify the grammatical and lexical features of these registers. So once we know that, in this discipline the grammar is this, the vocabulary is around this, then you will develop the materials for that discipline based on the registers. Okay, you know the grammar, you know the vocabulary, and then you develop the material. Once you know the material, now you can develop the syllabus. Okay, so the syllabus will be the basis document for you to teach the ESP program. Okay, let me give you one more example. For example, you are designing English for receptionists. Number 1, you need to know the grammar used by the receptionist, the vocabulary used by the receptionist. After you know, you get the list. Oh, this is the tenses. This is the list of vocabulary. Now they are going to be the materials in my ESP for receptionist. When you get the materials, you can make the syllabus from meeting 1 up to the last meeting, what you are going to teach, what students are going to learn. So you got the full document. So you have the syllabus for your ESP, especially English for receptionist. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Next, the main motive of RA is making ESP course more relevant to learners' needs. And the aim is producing a syllabus which give a high priority to the language forms students would meet in their studies and give low priority to the forms they would not meet. Okay, so I should delete the word the in the middle of form and they. Okay, sorry for that. So again, once you know the grammar and vocabulary needed by the students, you can deliver the materials which are very relevant to the students' need. Okay, you give the high priority to the grammars needed by them, and you give low priority to the grammar which they will not use in their work or office or career. Okay, so as simple as that. Any question? Hopefully no, yeah, but if yes, later on you can ask. Now we move to stage 2. We call it DA or discourse analysis. So discourse analysis looked at the weaknesses of register analysis, which focused on the language at the sentence level. Remember, in register analysis, we focus on the grammar. However, in DA, discourse analysis, or this second stage, we focuses on the level above sentence. How sentences were combined in discourse to produce meanings. Okay, so not only one sentence, but how sentence and another sentences can create more meanings. Okay, and then stage 3, TSA, target situation analysis. So here we try to do the analysis of language features and situation in which learners will most likely use the language they are learning. So ESP will enable learners to function adequately in a target situation. So number 1, before we are teaching, we need to look at the situation. For example, you are teaching a group of receptionists, then you need to imagine what kind of situation will those receptionists face in their daily work. Oh, for example, they are welcoming guests. They are handling the complaints from the guests. They are explaining the hotel facilities, for example. They are helping the reservation. Yeah, another example. Then you will analyze what kind of language is used in that kind of situations. And then after you got the language used in that situation, you create the syllabus. Okay, so this is very equal to needs analysis, yeah, because we try to analyze what language needed in the situations faced by the students, and then you create the program. Okay, so TSA is more accurate description of the process concerned. Yeah, so we are not only talking about sentences and grammar and vocabulary, but what are the real situation that will be experienced by the students, and we try to prepare the students to be able to communicate in those situations.